Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing, man? It's a pleasure meeting you. How's everything?
Good. I can't complain.
Oh,
God has been good.
same here. I was the guy that took Fat Joe and Jelly Bean to court over the Lazarios big pun situation. I didn't know if you was curious about that per se. I could give
Oh
you the
wow. Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I could give you the full detail. I mean, I'm the guy that invested and paid the money, to support Liza to bring her to court. You know what I'm saying? I also represent
Wow.
I also represent the DMX estate. Um, I'm the guy who also helped the Locks get back their publishing from Puffy.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. So I got bad boy clients still besides the Locks. Shout out to them. I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm a copyright forensics expert. You know what I'm saying? I read royalty statements better than most. So I could get down to the bottom of things. I mean, I represented my first case. I represented the first time I got into the business. Pretty much, I recruited I got Nature from the firm to sign to me. All right, I found that Sugar Hill Records and the owners of Sugar Hill was manipulating his writer account and royalty account and stealing his money. I had to take them to court. I also helped Irv Gotti and Ja Rule in a case against Sugar Hill. I had DMX in a court case against Sugar Hill, Nature, Benzino, AZ from the firm. Maybe a couple more people. You know what I'm saying? I had problems with Sugar Hill Records. I kind of learned from Sugar Hill Records because the father kind of taught me the business on the publishing end. My family, my grandfather used to sell. My grandfather used to sell heroin with Mr. Robinson back in the 50s. With Mr. Robinson, and he knew he had a rapport with them. So by the time the '90s came, he was basically like, "Oh, I know your family" and stuff like that. And I'm like, "I want to be in the music business," and he was teaching me little things of what certain things meant in contractuals and stuff like that. So I kind of elevated to where I am now. I'm saying in the business. I'm not saying because of him, but I took maybe like 30% of what he said, what I'm saying, and taught me, or 25% of what he said and taught me, rest in peace. And I kind of catapulted my own business from there. You know what I'm saying? So those are probably, some of the things that I've been involved with.
So, because Fat Joe, he definitely tells a lot of lies. Exactly what was the steps? What was the outcome? You know, in the court case with Liza, I've seen she reached out to me in my Facebook Messenger, and that was like 2 years ago. And by the time I seen it, it was like wow. And then
Right.
because I don't never check my messages in my messenger, and I seen the clip where Tiger did he leaked the interview that he did with her. It was totally disrespectful. I totally
Oh,
disagree with
yeah,
it.
that pissed me off. Sorry to interject, but go on.
It totally pissed me off, because you know I don't know if Liza remember me, but in
Mm-hmm.
my early days, and her coming to Bronx River and being in 1455, it was like, seeing her with the truck, her going through what she was going through. Nobody really knew what she was going through, but we heard little rumors or whatever the case. We didn't know, but we knew, and it was like, to actually know what she was going through at the height of Fat Joe was just to me it's like, how could you ever respect that? On the flip side with Joe, you'll see like there's certain dudes that I know will tell you, oh, he paid for my father or my mother's funeral, or he paid for a lawyer. Yeah, because he's keeping the muscle behind him in the street. He know he has to keep the streets behind him. But the number one person that was supposed to be taken care of didn't get taken care of. That was
Yeah,
Pun.
I agree. I mean, sometimes there's incentive in certain things. You know what I'm saying? He might have had an incentive, in particular to what you was just mentioning. But when you're talking about, Big Pun and stuff like that, I mean, just to start it off, after he died, Joe was basically telling Liza that no, he owed me money from advances and all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that she's an inheritor, or just like to share with DMX, they're inheritors. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know what DMX knows per se firsthand, or they don't know what Pun knows firsthand. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in a state and you inherit something, you can be deceived. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, so Jelly Bean Benitez, you heard of him? Have you? Have you heard of Jelly Bean
No.
Benitez? Jelly Bean
No.
Benitez. Okay, Jelly Bean Benitez is he's a DJ right now, but he actually like produced Madonna records in the '80s and stuff like that, and he was her ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, and he owned some of the copyrights of some Madonna records per se. And I know he was sued for about $10 million through Spirit One Music and stuff like that, over Madonna copyrights of Madonna publishing and things like that. And I know that was settled through Wallace Collins, an attorney. But make a long story short, he became a publisher later down in line. You know what I'm saying? And the publisher basically is he was obligated to collect other people's royalties. So if Hassan Campbell made a record and you don't know people in Africa and all these other countries, you would go to a guy like Jelly Bean to go collect your money for a percentage. And he would take his percentage, whether it's 10, 15%, or if he bought into the copyright, he might ask for 25%, and then he would give you your 75%. You know what I'm saying? And you might get that money quarterly or biannually from him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, right. So basically, Joe did a deal, Pun did a deal with Joe, and then Joe did a deal with Jelly Bean, and Jelly Bean bought into the copyright where he would own 25% of the copyright, and he would give 75% to Pun and Joe, and then they would split 75%, 37 and a half each, right? So after he died, Joe was basically telling lies, like, no, he's mine, he's mine. Basically, forget the contract. He's mine. You know what I'm saying? I made this. I made this baby. I built this building. You know what I'm saying? He was claiming rights, and she was kind of confused over that and stuff like that. So Jelly Bean was sending her fake royalty statements. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like he was playing with the numbers to keep her unrecouped, so she wouldn't receive any money. But that account was really recouped, and Joe and he would give Joe the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I'm giving Hassan Campbell a royalty statement saying Hassan Campbell owes $500,000, and it's not true. You know what I'm saying? And you're biannual, and then he would downplay it. So say Hassan Campbell made 500,000. Say Hassan Campbell owed 500,000, and then the next biannual 6 months later, it's a slow drip. It might say, hey, Hassan Campbell made $8,000 the next biannual, and now you owe me $492,000. You know what I'm saying? So it was a slow drip. You know what I'm saying? But that was not true. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when it was really recouped, Joe would get the money. You know what I'm saying? And they were doing that for like 14, 15 years, from the time of Pun's death all the way up to like 2014, 15, when I brought the case to Southern District, New York. You know what I'm saying? And then, I hired an auditor. They fought it in court. They had a good lawyer. Joe had two lawyers, and Jelly Bean had a lawyer. It was Jelly Bean and Joe versus my lawyer. Joe had a lawyer, two lawyers. Jelly Bean's lawyer was real good. But make a long story short, we proved that they were lying on the royalty statements. Once I got the royalty statements, I was able to prove that the royalty statements were fake. And he was really recouped maybe around 2001 or so. You know what I'm saying? So 13 years after that, per se, they were sending fake royalty statements that were really recouped, but they were sending her unrecouped statements. And mind you, just think about the transition. Pun
Shouldn't
died.
that be shouldn't he be arrested for that? That's fraud.
I mean, it was a civil case, so there was nothing. It's not criminal. It was a civil case. You know what I'm saying? So they just got to pay damages and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you think of it, probably they could have probably got. You know what I'm saying? So
Interesting.
so just think about the transition. Pun dies, she got Pun's crib. Then she's receiving fake royalty statements. Then she can't pay her bills because she's receiving fake royalty statements when she really should be paying her bills. Then she like moves into people's houses. Then she goes to a homeless shelter. So during this whole transition over the years, they still they're so black-hearted that they know what's going on with her, but they're so black-hearted that they're sending her fake royalty statements, which means like they don't care if she fucking lost Pun's apartment. They don't care if she's living at some girl's house with the kids. They don't care if she's in the homeless shelter. You know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking crazy, Hassan. I mean, I really don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you know Joe better than me. I only met him once or twice and stuff like that, but it's kind of unfathomable. I really can't see. I just don't understand how somebody would be that black hearted to transition a family from shelter to a homeless shelter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you got to give her fake royalty statements. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's greed or I just, man, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm happy. She had 3, 4 lawyers before me. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm an expert at reading royalty statements. You know what I'm saying? So I could kind of see, I could read, maybe a lawyer's going to say, screw you, that's not true. But I could read a royalty statement in my belief better than, or at least in this case, I proved that I could read a royalty statement better than the 3, 4 lawyers that she had before me. You know what I'm saying? Because mind you, she had lawyers she had 3, 4 different lawyers over a decade. You know what I'm saying? That were telling her, forget it, there's nothing here. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, um, what they were holding for a decade plus, I was able to see within a minute and a half. Once I got the same documents that they got, and I brought it home, and I opened up the envelope and saw what they had for 10 years. I swear, my mother, it only took me like a year and a. It only took me like a minute and a half for me to call her up and say, "Oh, I see the bullshit here. I'm gonna pay for your case. I'm gonna do this, do that, and let's go. Let's go. Let's take everybody to court."
That's good. So basically, what was the results, the end results of that?
Well, I mean, the end results is that I hired an auditor. In court. I fought the case from 2014, September-ish or winter of 2014, all the way to mediation, which might have took some time in 2016. But I mean, I found $2.3 million missing out of those 14 years of royalty statements. When they were sending her unrecouped statements. Like, yo, you
Damn
get
it.
no money, you get no money.
She wasn't even worth 10% of that. She wasn't even worth 1% of it. Like, damn, she couldn't even get $1,000. That's crazy.
Bro, yeah. I mean, they couldn't even drip her and say, "Oh, I'll give her $2,000 a year. Let me put some money in her pocket. Let me finesse these statements while I put some money in her pocket." The whole time for 14, 15 years, the statements were all unrecouped. Like, you owe us for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, and if you remember, Joe was on the radio saying, "I gave that bitch $750,000. I gave that bitch $250,000, and I told her enough's enough." Because mind you, she can't get on the same platform. See, I kind of blame the platforms too. I blame only reason I blame the platforms that he was able to go on because they didn't allow her to get on the platforms so she could say her piece. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But you know what it is? They probably didn't have a, you know what? Joe was intimidating to them, not to me. He's intimidating to them, not to me. So I would have loved to have her rip her to shreds. Did he give us some type of gag order where she couldn't speak on him?
No, I mean there was paperwork that's I forget what the paperwork said, but he went on Drink Champs and spoke first. You know what I'm saying? So he broke whatever they wrote up in court. You know what I'm saying? Because he was on Drink Champs saying there was no court case. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know. He was so bold to say that there was no court case. He was so bold to come on there and say, I walked in the courtroom and the judge said, "What are you doing here?" You know what I'm saying? Like he mind you, I mean, he's able to go on radio stations and whatever shows and have a big microphone. And no one invites Liza to counteract anything that he says. So she just got to take hits in the head all day. You know what I'm saying? And people are DMing her, and she's getting freaking panic attacks from what they're saying in the DMs. And I'd be trying to call her back then before she won the case. And I call her a week later, and she'd be like, "Oh, I was in the hospital because I caught a panic attack and stuff like that." From what people were saying to me in the DMs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like people were saying, "Yo, get a job, bitch." Joe gave you money for a salon or whatever they were saying before the court case. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? But at the end of the day, when she won the case, and everybody knows that she won the case at the end of the day, there's nobody in this earth that was Pun's friend that said, "Congratulations, I see what he did." There was no, it was crickets. It was crickets, crickets, crickets.
Well, I mean, it's not hard to see the ill intent anyway because once the only one he really took with him was Remy because it benefited him.
Well,
He had
mind
to
you, that,
he had to put a black face on his Latino rap. It ain't hard to figure out.
mind you, that was Pun's artist. They gave what they,
Yeah,
but mind you, they made her destitute to the point where she needed money, and she sold. She didn't have no money. They sold. She sold Remy Ma to Joe and them for 75,000 because she needed the money. But mind you, she's getting fake royalty statements the whole time, and she's not knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If she knew that, she wouldn't have sold Remy for that. You know what I'm saying? So they dried her out to make her destitute. So she would say okay to the $75,000 to sell Remy Ma plus a percentage override, which she still didn't get. She got the
wow.
75,000, but she didn't get the percentage override.
This whole situation is sad because it gives hip hop a black eye. Every time Fat Joe performed certain songs that he did with Pun's son is supposed to be on stage performing right with him. I always felt like that, and it's like something that you look forward to because Pun, honestly speaking, I think throughout the years, Pun's son has actually got nicer than his father.
He gained a great skill set that he could claim on his own for sure. And obviously he could, he should be able to do his own thing, and maybe with a booster Joe and stuff like that. But at the same time, we break his narrative. You know what I'm saying? And we're Joe, whether it's me, Liza, Chris Rivers, or whatever, we're a reflection of his embarrassment. So he's never gonna help try to put them on the platform unless Liza lies and says to the public, "Oh, Joe never stole from me," which he said to her in order to do a big pun movie. He said to her, like, "Oh, you want to do a pun movie? I'll help you with it." You know what I'm saying? Even though we could do it on our own, but it would be greater if Joe was involved because he can make the hype bigger because you see how he could bloviate shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, so we were cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that he was like, the only way I'll do it is if you go to the public and say that Joe never stole from me. Okay, so you want people to go back in her DMs and say, you bitch, you lied and all that shit, the same shit that she was going through before? You know what I'm saying? So when I speak to Liza's like, why would I do that? Like he stole. It's been proven in court. In mediation, we had him admit he never gave zero. That 750, that 200, that $1 million that he claimed that he gave in two payments, he admitted in mediation he gave her zero. It wasn't true. He couldn't show no documents, no nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he would have her dishonor herself. Yeah, he's a true pig. He's a true pig.
I just can't believe it, man. I just can't. I never seen such a travesty in the hip hop business. I mean, I've seen a lot in the game. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of clients and stuff like that. I just never seen nothing like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? I just never seen somebody so black hearted to say like, oh, he got 3 kids in a homeless shelter. Fuck him.
People don't understand how powerful that is, and it's like this is a cold-hearted culture. From what I understand, a lot of like Pac was cheated out of a lot of money while he was alive. Big was cheated out of a lot of money while he was alive. You know, New Edition, and the show goes on. A lot of a
I knew
lot of
this.
the original got robbed, but then we come to the age of drill, and I heard Method Man say he was like, "Yo," he said, "in the height of hip hop, I've never flew on a private jet, but you got these little drill rappers with money coming up to their neck from their hand, flashing the cash that they getting, and they can't even pack a show. Like, where's the
Well,
money coming from?"
okay. Well, I mean, let's just break it down. I mean, with Method Man, I mean, obviously he's one of our favorites and stuff like that. These guys signed. I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna just take a guess. He signed the Wu-Tang Productions, right? Wu-Tang Productions went and got a deal with a major label, and then maybe RZA split the points with them. So let's just think that maybe RZA might have got. Let's just say RZA got 18 points, all right? And then he gave RZA and then he gave Method Man half the points. So I mean, 18 points is 18%. You know what I'm saying? Then he gave him half, which is 9% out of 100. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to recoup and all the expenses go on you and things like that, video, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he didn't see that much money, but a lot of these drill rappers and a lot of these independent cats, they're not signing. They're not signing for 9 points. They're getting most of their money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're flying on. They're literally getting 10 times, 8, 7 times the money that Method Man was getting. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they're able to do what they do. I'm not saying they signed better deals, but they might have had a song on TikTok or something like that that blew up, and then the label had no choice but to give them a greater deal just because they had better negotiation power. You know what I'm saying? Through their lawyer, what have you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not blaming Riz or anything like that. I mean, that's how it was in the 90s, bro. A lot of these guys signed for 9, 10 points and stuff like that. Bro, some of your favorite rappers, bro, that I'm not going to mention, I could say offline, but I know one of your favorite groups, and you're going to say one of your favorite groups, but I can't say it on here. But I know a group that signed for 4 points, and it's a group that had to split the money. So they got 2 points each or whatever, things like that, which is 2%. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was an ugly game back then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, guys didn't know how to leverage themselves in a situation. I mean, just think, if Protect Your Neck came out now, you know what I'm saying? They'd be able to sign a better deal now if they had, from negotiations and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Than they did then. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those co-chilling contracts, you got no publishing. You just got a royalty. You didn't own your publishing entity. It was just ugly. It was just an uglier game. You know what I'm saying? I was saying it yesterday to somebody, the other day to somebody. I mean, a lot of those companies, Rockefeller. I mean, no, Rough Riders, Murder Inc., Bad Boy. If Hassan Campbell signed to any of those 3 companies I just mentioned, they would want a piece of your publishing. Back then, out of those big companies, the only company that wouldn't ask for your publishing was Rockefeller.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you go about, you know, dealing with the legal steps to getting money back? What's the procedure like to get money back from these people that's been robbed by the industry?
Well, I mean, there's different techniques. It matters if they sent royalty statements or not, or you know what I'm saying? Because if they send, even though if I was cheating Hassan Campbell per se, and I sent him royalty statements, whether they were fake or not, um, that would just be like that's like a breach of accounting or something like that. You'd only be able to go back 6 years on accounting. But depending on how I frauded you or how I did you dirty, we might be able to go back from inception and find the full accounting and work with that. You know what I'm saying? It just matters who, profile records. I just won $1 million lawsuit. I just I just won $1 million lawsuit from a group that was signed to Profile Records. I won back in August. You can check it out on allhiphop.com. Uh, but making a long story short, some of these guys are better than others. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys don't care about getting caught. They'll be like, oh, well, Hassan Campbell doesn't know what I know. I've been to court a million times. I'll just finesse him in court and pay 20 cents on the dollar. It doesn't make a difference. He ain't getting all his money. It just matters about your ring experience. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys are Caucasians, and sometimes they don't care about paying no black people. They just don't care. They're in the business just to be in the business. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't paying no black guys no money. Period, bro. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's a racial aspect from my experience to what I've seen. Like you might criticize Puffy, or maybe not you, but other people might criticize Puffy, and some of these other people, they're nothing compared to a Steve Plotnicki from Profile Records. And there's no comparison. You can't even. It's not even something to weigh. It's not even a weigh-in. You know what I'm saying?
Then you got Kendrick Lamar running around talking about turning the TV off like, yo, you just stole my whole slogan. And didn't even shout me out. So now the big because he's bigger than me. Oh, you got that from Kendrick, but everybody recognized it was like, nah, he
Really?
took your slow. Everybody recognized like, yeah, he took your slogan, nigga. You made it to the Super Bowl.
I
Yeah.
need I need to talk to you behind the scenes, bro. Just on technique. Just on technique. I don't really want to say it on here, but you need to do something about that.
Yeah, like hold up, you just stole my whole slogan. My one of my channels is Snotbox TV. He
Mm-hmm.
got his Snotbox rock. He got his TV turned off. Those are my slogans. Like dogs, you just went in the studio and just took my shit and ain't even say, "Yo, shout out to Hassan Campbell." No nothing, no acknowledgement. Like damn. But I can't complain because one thing I can't complain because I don't like it. But at the same time, you know, one thing I love about YouTube is that it done taught me that I don't have to have a job and I don't want a job. I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to work for anybody. And if I'm working for somebody, you better be a powerhouse because I can't like after seeing the checks that I've seen, I can't go back. I can't go back to a regular job. That
Ain't
can't
no,
happen for me.
ain't no turning back.
It don't turn it back.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
nah,
yeah, yeah,
why would I punish
yeah,
myself? It's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah. Unless you're gonna move some birds or something. You know what I'm saying? And face jail time and shit.
you know, being on YouTube, I became the bird. I'm actually, I am the bird. I'm the brick. I'm selling myself. I'm the brick. That's why when people be like, "Yo, why is this nigga clout? Why is he clout chasing? Clout chasing? I have no respect for the industry. You see what I'm saying? After I went through my situation with Africa Bambaataa, and I
Mm-hmm,
realized that nobody really cared, I don't have to care about y'all either. You see what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm,
50, listen, 50 taught me the way. I
mm-hmm.
watched 50 and I seen what he did to the industry. Now everybody don't love him, but at the same time, they gotta respect his handle. I'm like, if listen, man, if you got two steaks, you over there, you eating. You got two steaks. I can see you can't even eat the other one, and I'm starving. I ain't eating 3 days. You think I'm not coming to get that steak?
Right, right, right.
Nah, we got to share that, my nigga. I got to snatch that. Like I'm not gonna starve. I gotta eat. I'm not asking like, oh, you clout chasing. Yes, I'm gonna clout chase myself into a mansion.
Right.
That's what I like. Yeah, man, my sister. I went to my sister's house and I was just looking. I went to my sister's church. She got a church the size of 4 blocks.
Oh
I
wow.
went, I, I went to my sister got rooms. She got hidden rooms inside of rooms in her mansions, Rolls Royces, Bentleys in the yard. All the time. I'm just looking like, and she
Oh
just
damn.
inspired me to like, yeah, she just inspired me to go even harder. And I'm like, you- uh, I'm about to go even harder. Like, nah, playtime is over. I'm a grad. I'm not leaving no money on the table.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not leaving no money on the table. Like I'm grabbing every dollar. I'm not leaving no money on the table. So yeah, you know, shout out to YouTube for giving us an opportunity. But now it's time for me to take my show on the road. I'm just trying to learn some of the things that I haven't learned. Because I know I can pull an audience coming outside. I know I can.
Oh, you mean like a speaking tour?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. You can
I
get
know
some
I
money.
can.
You can get some
And
money
it's
doing that.
crazy because I started one day. The first time I did it, first 2 days, I asked people, "Yo, write in the comment section. Let me know where you from." I swear I had thousands of comments in the comment section. So when they started doing that, it boosts the video and the algorithm. That's when all this 50 Cent stuff started going on with him beefing with Big Meech. Now I'm back and I'm getting 180,000 a view.
Oh, you doing you
So,
getting back.
so no, because once they seen that, now when I'm talking in the comment section, instead of me getting thousands of views again, I'm barely getting 200 or 300 comments in the comment section. Yes, the game is rigged. They shadow banning, taking comments, throwing it in the garbage, letting the ones go through. I've written myself from my other pages, talking to myself just to see and tested it,
Oh wow.
and the comments don't show up. Yeah,
Oh man. Like I said, I
yeah,
got that you I think you know what to do from there if you wanted to.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like just just taking the screenshots and saving them.
Okay.
Screenshot and save the screenshot and the screenshot. Like, yeah, I see what's going on. You know, I don't know who behind the scene is deciding that they want to spank me so hard. I don't know if it's Leo. I don't know if it's the fact that you got Wallow working there now. So I know they ain't feeling me, but it is what it is. Ain't nothing personal. I just do topics. And I call it
Wow.
how I see it.
Wow. Okay, so I mean, shoot, they're not gonna like what I do about the record industry. You know what I'm saying? I already know what they. I already know how the labels feel about me. You know what
Well,
I'm
you know
saying?
what? They know at some point in time we got to give a couple of dollars back. They can't keep every dollar. They got fat while everybody was starving. They can sprinkle a little bit of cottage cheese or Swiss cheese on a salad, just a little bit. They ain't losing
Yeah.
nothing.
I'm the type of guy, I'm trying to get it all, man. Like I said, I take everybody to court if need be, man. I don't care about none of these motherfuckers. Excuse my language, bro.
You know
You
what?
know
When
what I'm
once you learn how to do what you do, you're a deadly dude. You're deadly. See, people don't understand that pen is more mightier than the sword.
saying? Yeah.
So once you learn how to take them to court, it's like, oh man, you're a headache.
Yeah, no,
You're a straight headache.
I've gotten emails where I was CC'd and they accidentally sent me emails. They talking shit about me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I already know their feelings. But here's my question. This is my biggest question. If Hassan Campbell's an artist on a so and so label, right? And I'm trying to get his money, why are you mad at me for trying to get his money? You know what I'm
Because you're
saying?
not
I
supposed
mean,
because you're not supposed to be that smart.
I'm just saying there's a contractual obligation we got to fulfill. I'm just saying it's like a long tradition of like you guys are mad that I'm trying to collect this guy's money. Like I just don't understand. Like that's why you're a record company. You're supposed to pay
they
Hassan Campbell his money.
they looking at you like, who the fuck is you? Like that's the problem. We all are supposed to be dumb. None of us is supposed to read.
Mm.
Like, oh, we got a reader right here. You're dangerous. We got to get this nigga up out of the way. They should have just hired you. Like,
I
listen, come
mean,
over here.
honestly, I've had offers to work for companies that mostly to try to suppress me so I don't talk about them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've had those offers before, but me and my lawyer talk like, yo, you better not do that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna extract that money from the outside, or else you working for them, you're just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I've had bouts with Bad Boy and some of these other companies and stuff like that. I've had arguments with Puff's lawyers and stuff like that. And I mean, one argument I had an argument with like a year ago. I mean, these guys, they must have made so much money with Puff. They were talking. This is right before the court case. They were talking about him like he was God, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember saying like, damn, they must have made a lot of money with this guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're just so protective, bro. It's like they just put a wall up. They make it so hard to try to get some money for the artist. And I got guys that sold 4 or 5 million records still living at their mother's house. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
disrespectful.
you know what I'm saying?
That's nasty work. That's disrespectful to the 10th power. Like, you still living with your mother?
Yeah, I'm just
Your
saying
mother?
they got plaques on the wall at their mother's house, but they sleeping in the other bedroom and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man. Nigga better write another rhyme. So what you think about you think Diddy gonna beat this case from what you read?
Well, I mean, I look at it like this, and maybe I'm wrong. Most of his cases are civil, so I mean that's just money loss. He got one criminal case, and that could be jailable. I mean, if he beats the criminal case, he's back home. And I mean, I've had some of his associates call me, and they talking kind of crazy on the phone. And I don't know if they're recording me to try to get me caught up in the court case. I mean, this is recently, bro.
Wow.
This is like a month and a half ago. Like, yo, man, remember in the '90s, all the drugs we was doing and all this other shit. I'm like, yo, I don't know, I don't remember none of that shit, bro. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like I see, like I got a business to run, bro. You think I do shit like that now, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm retracting shit, bro, because like I don't know if there's somebody on three-way or if they're taping me to give to the fucking government to be like, yeah, he could testify. He remembers he was around then and this and that. Like, I'm just like, yo, bro, I don't remember none of that shit, bro. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. And to this day, on Hassan Campbell, I'm saying I don't remember none of that shit. I don't know what you're talking about, in case you watch it. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember none of that. I
Right.
don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And he called me about 3-4 times since that conversation. Probably like last week was the last week he called me and shit like that. I ain't picking up the phone. I ain't answering your text. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I'm just saying, like, yo, you want me caught up in the case? You want me to testify about something? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, come on, bro. Like, so yeah, so I mean, it's spooky. You know what I'm saying? And I had 50s people ask me to be in the documentary about Puff and shit like that. They called me once or twice and stuff. You know what I mean? I kind of come from the bad boy element. They used to have me shopping beats and stuff like that. I used to hang around there a lot and stuff like that. So, they used to have me run around the city and shop beats and things like that. And I don't know. People think I saw a lot for some reason. You know what I'm saying? So, in the '90s and early 2000s, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Based off of what I'm seeing from his case, I don't like what they doing to him. I know he's a creep. We all know he's a creep. You can't hide that. You know what I mean? Where there's smoke, there's fire. But there's just something about how they handling him. I just don't like it. The Cassie situation, you know, I feel sorry for her. She's a domestic violence uh, victim, but she's not a rape victim.
Right.
And we can't confuse the two. And the game that they're playing with Diddy, with Cassie, is dangerous for every black man because now, if you influence you and you have a little bit of money, having a domestic violence situation can cause you to go to jail 10 years later after she's not with you. That's dangerous.
Hey, remember the motivation back in the mid 2000s. Irv Gotti spent $10 million in lawyer fees just to prove his innocence. You know what I'm saying? And and I just think that sometimes the other man gets overexcited and had their own imagination on certain things. You know what I'm saying? And just in their mind, it's escalated more than what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think it's kind of messed up to come back on somebody 20, 25 years later. Whoa, your kid, just imagine your kid's 25 years old and somebody and the government's popping up on you like, yeah, back in 2000 you did so and so. Like, I mean, whether it's true or not, it's like, God damn, bro, like 25 years later.
See, me, it depends because for me, when you damage children, it'd be hard for them to tell.
Well, I'm not saying it's
They want
children.
to,
I'm excluding children.
but yeah, when you damaging children and it's child victims that go through things and nobody never heard they cries. They suffer. Even as adults, they suffer. They never stop suffering.
I,
But when you're dealing with a Cassie, somebody that, from what I understand, uh, she participated willingly and not just willingly through some of those parties herself. Allegedly, she threw some of those parties herself because that's just the time she was on. They was on.
yeah, I,
Domestic violence and orgies is not. It's not a game.
yeah,
I don't like that mixed up with real
yeah,
victims and what
yeah,
real victims have been through. I don't like that.
yeah. I'm speaking on men that were 30 years old that are now 55. That's what I'm speaking on in my mind. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting because for one, as a 30-year-old man, you in your 30s and you let a man violate you because you wanted the limelight. You wanted what he had to offer, and he dangled it in front of you, and he didn't give it to you. So he violates you, and now you see the opportunity to see what you can grab. I mean, honestly, now I don't respect that, and this is
Mm-hmm.
why even if Puff
Mm-hmm.
Diddy beats the case, I can't sit down next to you. You're a booty
Mm-hmm.
bandit, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You use everything in your power to seduce men and women and send them home broke. You're disgusting. You're a creature. But does that mean he should go to jail? I mean, in the afterlife, when you're dealing with God, there's a special place in hell for Diddy. But on this earth in America, we don't play by those rules. If you send him over to Saudi Arabia, he's going to get stoned to death.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly.
you
Yeah,
send
yeah.
you send him over to Iraq. You send him over to Iraq. He's never coming back. It's over for him. But in
Facts.
America, you know, in the land of the thief, the home of the slave, he's practicing some of the traits that the slave owners and the slave masters did to us.
Well, you know what, man? Some of these guys I notice that get so much money, they feel like they're the chosen one, and they get a God complex. You know what I'm saying? And they can't do no wrong due to the fact that they think they have a God complex. You know what I'm saying? They can't even comprehend your issue. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of weird. And I would think Puff got a God complex or had a got a complex. You know, he might have lost that sitting in prison.
No, he
Sitting-
still he still has it. He still has it. And you got to understand
yeah, because he probably uses
when you
influence.
handpick, he's been handpicked by Satan
Hmm.
to do Satan's work. You know, when they say that it is easier for the camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into paradise. You gotta sit back and think. The game is rigged on every avenue. The game is rigged.
Yeah.
So technically, most of the time, when you actually make it rich, when they allow you to make it rich, you know, it's like even on YouTube, right? When you dealing on YouTube, let's say for example, if I go put up a motivational speech, they'll minimize that video within the first hour. Like, oh no, we don't like this. They'll slow it down. Coming from
Hmm.
me, because that's
Hmm.
not what they want from me. But
Hmm.
if I sit up there and I say some ill, disrespectful stuff on the internet,
Hmm.
especially before they started shadow banning me, I have 150,000 views in 10 hours. So now you teaching me how to sell my soul without selling my soul through the numbers. We don't really like this. Sort of like the
Hmm.
music industry. There's
Hmm.
somebody always watching. And when you
Hmm.
have the influence that I have, where you got rappers and you got millionaires like powerhouses like 50 Cent sharing me, and you got Kendrick Lamar performing my slogans at the Super Bowl. Oh, you know you watching. I got A-listers. So let me tell you something. I got A-list celebrities that I wouldn't even mention that hit my Cash App up with thousands of dollars, and I was just like like
Oh
teary eyed.
wow! I need to know them.
I,
Damn.
like when I tell you, I started crying because I couldn't even believe it. Like, wow, certain people that we grew up watching, like, oh wow, some of your favorite TV shows ever hitting me up like in my Cash App, like, boom, here you go.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, you know the way it felt, just the overwhelmingness. So yeah,
And do you think that's because they can relate to you to because of what happened to you, or is for other reasons, or just your
sometimes
mental?
it's the, sometimes it's just recognizing the evil and speaking on the topics and having the heart to go against the industry, because what
Mm.
people don't realize is that just because some of these celebrities are in the industry don't mean that they haven't been abused by the industry.
Okay.
And they can't say they under contract where they can't say what I can say. I'm not under nobody's contract. I say what I want to say.
Yeah, you say same here.
I
Right.
didn't take I didn't take Satan. I didn't take Satan's open. I'm not in Satan's house.
Right.
But I will antagonize Satan's children. I have no respect for them.
Right.
You know, so that's my whole thing right there. It is what it is. I'm going to say what I want to say. There's no door for me. They're not letting me through the door. I'm comfortable where I'm at anyway. I don't want the door. You can have the door.
Yeah. 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 That, I mean, that's how I go to sleep better at night, not knowing that there's something above me that I got to obligate to. You know.
Hold on 1 second. I think that's my
Sure.
kids.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Got you. Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, basically, I got a lot more fighting to do, man. You know what I'm saying? These industry contracts and some of these artists, I got an artist, I got one of your favorite artists from back in 88, 89, bro. I mean, I got him his first artist royalty check in 2024 around May. You know what I'm saying? 35 years later, you know what I'm saying? So, this game is crazy, man. These labels don't want to pay, man. I mean, it's just, I read the books and stuff like that. A lot of these guys, it's music industry. It's two words, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's music business. I mean, everybody knows the music, but they just a lot of these guys just don't know the business. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
due to the fact that you don't know that second word, you could be taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about you signing to a CEO. You're a rookie going against a vet. He talk all this good stuff to you, and it sounds good when you walk out the door. But he's a vet. He sat down with 100 people before you, and it's all a finesse move. You know what I'm saying? And they got ring experience. You know what I'm saying? This is your first fight. They're like 92 and 3 in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And you're fighting against vets, bro. You know what I'm saying? And without that education, You can't fight against a vet. And first off, you got to know the definition of what a good lawyer is, and that kind of takes education at the same time. You can't be like, "Oh, my lawyer's good because this guy said." I can't take that exterior point. You know what I'm saying? It just takes hitting the books and being experienced at it. Without that, when it comes to war, doing contracts, that's the easy part. But when it comes to defense and when it comes to the war part, if you don't know how to war, you're gonna be a victim. Did you see the past 2 days? George Clinton is trying to sue for $100 million with Benjamin Crump.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, George Clinton's trying to sue basically half the music industry for $100 million with Benjamin Crump and stuff like that. Okay, Benjamin Crump is, civil rights and stuff like that, and he might try to get a check out of sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Using the black, card and stuff like that. The industry did this to us and this and that, and try to get a check. I'll tell you right now, if he loses that case, George Clinton's publisher is going to be suing George Clinton's lawyers for millions of dollars in payback. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So he's rolling the dice. Mind you, a decade or more ago, my lawyer got George Clinton a deal for multi-millions of dollars, a settlement for like 1 or 2 years with a 50-50 deal. And after 1 or 2 years, he'd retain 100% of his rights. My lawyer could have had him out of his deal 10 years ago, and he'd have 100% of his rights over a decade ago. He turned down that settlement. Now, 10 years later, he wants to try to bring some evidence and try to bring some accusations to try to get $100 million. He's playing a real risky game right now. He's playing a
Is he
real
even
risky.
worth $100 million?
I think in his emotions, he feels that he made that throughout the '70s to now, and he feels that he didn't get his retribution in money. You know what I'm saying? From all of that, and maybe his publisher did forge some signatures in the '70s and '80s, but there's statute of limitations and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna go back that far and get documents to prove certain things from 1979. You know what I'm saying? I never
Yeah.
seen. You know what I'm saying? To prove your accusations and stuff like that. I mean, I just don't. I've been to court a bunch of times. I don't really try to use the sympathy of that. I could, but my whole thing is to fix Hassan Campbell's account forward and to fix whatever that I could find and fix it forward and stuff like that. I mean, even if he got him 100 million, say if he got him a bunch of money, or he gets people a bunch of money, it doesn't mean that it fixes your situation forward. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand that he's playing the game of risk. I don't really think he realizes the type of risky game he's playing, because he might, if he loses, he's gonna owe millions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And lawyer fees. You know what I'm saying? So he better win, because if he loses, he's gonna be fucked up.
Good luck. But you
Yeah.
know what? I take my hat off because he going up against you. You going up against the belly of the beast.
Yeah, and I enjoy that part, but he did that. He also did that 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So he could have 100% of his rights a decade ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, $100 million. Hey, man. If he wins, he educated me.
Right. Well, I mean, we gonna sit back and watch and see what happens with this one right there. I listen. I'm always rooting for the underdog.
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
master can't always have everything for himself. You got to feed the pups. The wolves got to eat.
Yeah, and that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. I agree with that. That's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's just some fights I could kind of see, and it's like, hey, man, good luck. And I'm gonna read the case. I guess I'll read the case if they got a case. I'm gonna pull it up and read the case, and I'll send it to you if you want to check it out if I find it and stuff like that. And maybe you want to talk about it in the future or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd definitely be cool.
Yeah, but like I said, other than that, man, I'm just fighting these fights. Like I said, for DMX estate, I helped the wife get I helped the wife in the divorce settlement to get, a big portion of X's catalog, for herself. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just what I do, man. You know what I'm saying? My biggest problems, I guess, I think, is with Sugar Hill Records. I know them that put out Sugar Hill Gang and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I learned from them. I learned from the father once again. I think I said that in the beginning, but they're pretty much savants at hooking and crooking the writers and artists of the labels and stuff. Yeah, Angie Stone was on that label with the group Sequence. You know what I'm saying? Ring Ding Dong, Dr. Dre, and all that type of stuff that they used, derivatives of Angie Stone. I think she died trying to chase her rights back and her money, getting back, her rights back from all of that music that she never got paid on. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I heard a little bit about that. I seen
Hmm.
a little bit of an interview, and people are leading that because of that. That's why her own vehicle flipped over 7 6 7 times, and
Five, six, seven
everybody's
times.
everybody died in there except for her. I mean, no,
No.
everybody lived except for her.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that is interesting. But she was old in age. It's see, I try to be careful with everything being a conspiracy because accidents do happen. They do happen on the highway. They definitely do happen. And she was up there in age, so even though if she was looking kind of, you know, young because she was starting to take care of herself. And that doesn't mean nothing when you got a van flipping upside down and you dropping up on top of your head and banging yourself up. So I don't know. I don't really know how to call that one.
Hey man,
Because that
God bless her and her family. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
you see what happened to Tracy Morgan with that. That's how he got a bunch of money, and his man died. His man died in the van, and he lived.
and he was broken up.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, them Sprinter vans, man, they made me think about, damn, should I get a Sprinter van? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those that they seem kind of fragile when against an 18 wheeler. I mean, I guess anything would be.
What it is too is you got to understand like sometimes you push these drivers, they get tired.
Yeah, that
You
too.
get tired behind the wheel of that car. 18 wheelers, they run off the road all the time. The only thing they hurt is themselves or whoever's underneath them. But it's so
Yeah.
big, they come up out of there like nothing happened. But anything that's aside, that's why when I'm riding on the highway, I like to zoom past them. I don't like riding next to them. I never ride next to them 18 wheelers because once they swerve, you are in trouble. You're roadkill.
Honestly,
So
man. Honestly, bro, I try to hit the highway as less as possible. You know what I'm saying? I drive around the local. I take the long way a lot of times, especially at night. You know what I'm saying?
well, nighttime sometimes the highways be a little bit easier. So
I can't see though.
yeah, you gotta have. I gotta have my seeing glasses on. Have
Yeah,
to. Yeah,
yeah,
I understand. I totally understand that because it's different when you can't see.
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
definitely drive with my glasses. But yeah, man, we got to do it again. I got to start picking up these kids from school and
No,
um,
I appreciate you giving me the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a hip hop guy, from the era like me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I know you got a big love for the sport. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to see these guys, with their money right and stuff like that. And I know these guys are uneducated. I'm sure you know a bunch of people from the Bronx River area that didn't get their just desserts, and we could talk about that till tomorrow, I'm sure, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to change. I'm trying to change the game, bro, because I seen so much loss. You know what I'm saying? That I'm just trying to see what kind of impact I can make, and me and my team. I'm trying to see what kind of impact we can make in this business. You know what I'm saying? Whether they like it or not.
right, and we definitely gonna have to chop it up behind the scenes because if you got a special kind of skills that's going that's gonna go in that hole and get that bag and bring that bag back. You know what I mean? That's definitely a practice that a lot of people need. You know what I mean? It's time to snatch that bag back. Everybody's stealing. You see the news. The nigga Trump got Elon Musk finding that bag. Or that's all Elon Musk is doing. Like, hold up.
Yo,
You
bro,
got
you see
somebody chewing.
that social security shit where people are 165, 200 years old. I mean, it's like, wow, bro. You know what
They
I'm
got niggas
saying?
2,000. They got niggas 2,000 years old receiving checks like they ain't playing. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
gotta
So
go get that bag.
yeah,
Somebody's a perfect thief. Like, wow, they got their hand caught in the cookie jar.
yeah. So if it's happening through the government, it's happening to other industries. We gotta get that money, bro.
Yes,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
definitely.
But I thank you, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy what you do. I appreciate it, man. I mean, anytime you need me, just holler.
All right, peace.
Thank you.